go. All right. Well, welcome Charity to class. Like I said before, I'm Nolan. I'm going to be your teacher today. We are going to learn about the alphabet, but not in a way you've learned it before. Really quick, can you sing me your ABCs? W, X, Y, Z. Okay. Looks like you got them all right, pretty much, right there. Was that pretty easy? Yep. Now there's 26 letters in the alphabet. Imagine if you had to learn 2,000. That'd be hard. Do you think you could learn the song very well? No? Well, if you lived back before the alphabet was invented, that would probably be what you'd have to do. So, let's talk about what an alphabet is and where it came from. But first of all, before the alphabet, we had something called pictographs. Those are Egyptian hieroglyphics right there. Probably heard of them. And these are pictographs. All writing was like this back then. A pictograph is kind of what it sounds like. Pictures represent words. So like, let's say you were doing pictographs and you wanted to write the word for cat. What would you do? Draw a picture of a cat, exactly. Like so. That looks more like a mouse, but you get the idea. That's how pictographs work. But there's a big problem with this writing system. How many things are there in the world? A lot. Are you kind of starting to see what the problem is with this? You need a new symbol for every single thing that exists. So, writers had to learn over 5,000 symbols. There's a different pictograph language that's called Sanskrit. It's from Babylon. All right, here, you look like you could use a hard surface to write on. We're going to play a little game. We're going to have a little fun now. You're going to make your own pictograph language, and you're going to tell me one thing you did today using pictographs. But you can't tell me out loud. You got to write it, and then I'm going to try and figure it out. Done? All right. Took a little bit of time. Okay, so looks like there was a clarinet, some music, a book, music notes. But were you just watching somebody play the clarinet? No? You were playing the clarinet? You didn't tell. I can't tell that. You didn't write that. Don't worry. You don't have to. I'm just showing you. You want to anyway. I'm showing you how hard. You see how hard it is, though. So what would, if you had been around at this time, how do you think you'd like that? You wouldn't like it? What would you do about it?
You could try to make a new language.
Exactly. And that's exactly what a pretty cool group of people back then did. So, first of all, let's explain what the alphabet is. This is what they came up with. We don't like that 5,000 symbols business. We are going to make up an alphabet instead of pictographs. So, in an alphabet, each symbol, instead of being a picture of something, it represents a sound. Whereas, a pictograph is designed to imitate what you see with your eyes. Alphabet is designed to imitate what you say. Speak, it's sound. So it's a completely different idea for how to write things. So each symbol or letter represents a sound. What is it? What is a name? What does a name mean?
Means the letter or the sound.
You learned that in kindergarten, right? I probably should have asked you that before I brought up the next one. But anyway, yeah, so each symbol represents a sound. Why do you think this is easier than pictographs?
Because there's only so many sounds.
Exactly. There's a lot less sounds than there are things in the universe. We make a lot less sounds when we talk. Alright, so who came up with this? A group of people called the Phoenicians. Not from Phoenix, where I was born, Arizona. They were from a place in the Middle East. So they invented the earliest alphabet. They lived in the Middle East. You might want to write some of this down. I'm going to give you like a quick questionnaire at the end. Mainly just to make sure you remember. And here's a picture of their alphabet. Their alphabet had no vowels. Interesting thing. But they managed to understand it. So the Phoenicians, one of the reasons this worked for them, they were sailors. They traveled to a lot of different places where everyone had like different languages and stuff. And they had to keep a lot of records of all the, because they were traders. They traded stuff with other people. And they decided that those other languages were just such a pain and it took up so much space writing. So they came up with this simpler way. And because they were sailors, everyone they ran into got to see this. And they said, oh, wow, what's that about? That's kind of cool. It's a lot easier than what we've got. So that's the Phoenicians. And because of them, they ran into these other people who started adopting their own alphabets because they realized that this was a good thing they had going here. The Greeks, and because the Phoenicians met the Greeks, and the Greeks were kind of the kings of the world at that time, and the Greeks started using an alphabet, it spread even more. And then it spread to people like the Romans. You see, I gotta tweet this here. The reason I have that, the Latin alphabet the Romans use, that's the same alphabet as the English alphabet. Latin alphabet, Spanish, I heard you're gonna take Spanish soon, is that right? Yeah? Spanish alphabet, the Latin alphabet. Same alphabet. So you don't have to come up with new letters, thank a Roman. And that's how we got the alphabet we have today. All right, so quick review. What was used before the alphabet?
Pictographs.
Exactly. And who invented the earliest alphabet?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Phoenicians. It's a hard word to pronounce, but you got it, I know, because I saw you write it. So, what do the symbols and pictographs represent?
They represent
Pictures. Images, yeah. And the alphabet, what do those letters, symbols represent?
the sounds that you speak.
Exactly. So what's the alphabet we use today for English?
It's
Not quite. Who were the other group?
the
The Romans, and they called their alphabet the Latin alphabet, just to confuse you. All right. So that's pretty much it. But there's a cool lesson here, I think, with the Phoenicians. You know, they saw a system that they didn't really like, and so they had a cool idea and they did something about it. You know, the alphabet is something we use every day. We don't even think about it. There's things we use every day that we don't think about that maybe could use a little improvement. So if you get a cool idea, you know, don't hesitate to try it out. It might just become a big thing. All right. Well, that's the end of the lesson. Short and sweet. How do you like it?
It's good.
All right, sounds good. And I really hope. Uh-oh. Okay, good.